From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of evenings, LA, with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 tonight, we have the incredible, jaw-dropping great news as legislators who would actually write the fourth stimulus check, write the president a letter, and in that letter they say they're going to put multiple stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Wow. Then we have Jalapal saying call the vote right now, no time to wait. And dozens of House Democrats signed that letter. And we have the president making a deal, and that deal signals we're going to the finish line. I have all the exciting details on this fourth stimulus check night of Evenings LA to this evening. But also, I have fifth stimulus. In the second half of this recording, we go over how your benefits, especially veterans and Social Security and SSI and SSDI, will be lifted up in a lifetime change and then have a new benchmark on top of there. Anywhere from 6 to 20% additional add-on. All exciting, great news. And then we go over the big money, thousands, tens of thousands of dollars available for you across the land. I have all that money and more in a big night across the sea, across the land, and across the motor court. It's a big night from my home to your home, from the East Coast to the West Coast. Let's get to it. Let's get to Evenings LA. It's Evenings LA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check updated 2021. In this recording, we go over how much you're going to get, when you're going to get it, these monthly stimulus checks, and what the breaking news is across the board. A lot of breaking news tonight. So thank you for joining me. And how's the weather where you are? Tell me where you're tuning in from, and how's the weather? It's getting sort of cool tonight. I think it will be chilly. It was chilly here last night in LA. But tell me how the weather is where you are. In the second half of this recording, we go over fifth stimulus that'll raise your benefits. Incredible great news, especially if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, and more. And then in the middle of this recording, we go over the big money that's coming to you automatically and some that you need to get because it's $5, $10, $15, and $20,000. This is LA, the only 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news channel. Live in the morning, taped in the afternoon. Right before this show was afternoon's LA taped. After this show is evening's crypto taped. And then we go into the Evenings Crypto live show, a 12-hour show. So 2 more shows coming up after this. Join me on both of those. But let's get right to the breaking details on fourth stimulus starting right now. The fourth stimulus package has an interesting twist to it today. And you want to see that name, Jalapal. Jalapal is among the twists that's happening tonight. The fourth stimulus package, when written by a House member, Jalapal, for a House bill, provides stimulus checks for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. That's Jalapal's House bill. The Senate proposal is July to December. Let's compare Jalapal's monthly amounts. Jalapal's bill provides $2,000 a month $2,000 the first month and then $1,000 thereafter, whereas the Senate proposal, the amount monthly is unknown. But word on the street is it's this. Oh, wow. $2,000 a month for 6 months, $12,000 under the Senate proposal, or $1,400 a month over 6 months, $8,400. That's a person. That is per person. Now, if you're in the live chat just after 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, get ready to vote House or Senate, but don't vote yet because I want to go over one really interesting twist about Jalapal's bill. That House proposal provides stimulus for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year, but we may be done with the pandemic by the time the vote happens for these 4 stimulus packages. So the 4 stimulus package vote may happen by the time the pandemic for legislative purposes is done. If that's the case, then Jalapal's bill would provide 1 year of stimulus checks, 12 months of stimulus checks, which would amount to $13,000 a person compared to the Senate proposal, which looks potentially like this. Wow, almost the same, just half the amount of time for the Senate proposal. And with that, jump in the live chat and vote House or Senate. Which one do you like? House or Senate? If you're in the live chat, if you're watching the tape, drop in the comments, House or Senate. Really fascinating. So I have other great news across the board. Let's understand what else is in for stimulus. It's a monthly stimulus check. Who gets it? You do. So you got the third stimulus check, you get the fourth stimulus check. If you make less than $75,000, you get the fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Just double it. Family, household of 4 or less, you get the fourth stimulus check. Yeah, if it's a household of 6, one's not going to get it. And then if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or railroad benefits, you get the fourth stimulus check. Congratulations. Does it come in waves? No, it can't come in waves because there's no time. It's a monthly stimulus check. Remember, I'm just a reporter. I just report the news. I'm not a legislator. They make the representations, not me. But they represent that the vote would be by July 4th. That means you would get the first month in July for the month of July. You would get the August check in the month of August. Is it taken out for child support? We don't know anything about that yet. Is there a different amount for different people? No. So adult dependents, minor dependents, everyone would have the same amount as a stimulus check. And then finally, how do they do it? A 2-step, 2-month process currently underway called reconciliation. Incredible, great news. That's your fourth stimulus check update. But what did this letter say? And why is this letter so critically important to the scenario and making the situation sort of Captain Obvious at this point about the fourth stimulus package across broadcast media? I have that breaking detail coming up later in this recording in just a second. But first, let me give you a preview of the second half of this recording. I got a lot of money for you tonight in this 30-minute show. So stay with me, get a pen and paper ready because I don't want you to miss any of this money. Coming up in the second half of this recording is fifth stimulus. And fifth stimulus raises up your benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, SSA, survivor benefits, and multiple benefits. Then it applies a new benchmark, and that benchmark is inflation. Well, if the inflation rate is not Jeremy Siegel's 20% in December, but is still high, how much could your benefits be raised? I have all the incredible great details on this coming up tonight in just a second. But first, let's cut back to big, wonderful money, thousands of dollars available for you, some automatic, starting right now. When third stimulus was passed in the spring, I informed you that, yes, you're going to get a fourth stimulus check, but there's a bigger payout than that. It's this. It's the money for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. And it's a lot of money, $5,000 to $25,000. And I said, once it lands, you have to pounce as a purple hawk, and get it before anyone else, before the stimulus stampede comes in. Well, now it's landing, so time for you to pound. How much money is this? Let's go over all the details. First, rent. Rent is about $5,000 for 4 to 6 months of rent. Incredible, great news, so go get it. Rent is available from 6 locations, and you can get the rent, $5,000. You can get utilities. You can get also homeowners assistance and homeowners utilities. So go get it. It's all yours to get. All right, let's go over the details of where and how much you can get. So reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, and your state hall and your state housing authority. You're going to ask for rent assistance because of COVID. You do not use any other word like stimulus or stimulus check. Every location has different eligibility. So if you get a no at one location, you will get a yes at another one because they have different eligibility and different pots of money. So go get it. About $5,000 for rent. Incredible, great news. So now let's reach out. Let's consider the other big payout. Not a day goes by with someone saying on a very nice private message to me, thank you for your shows. I got rent or I got SNAP. What is SNAP? It's money for food. How do you get SNAP? Where do you get it? And why is it so much money? First, SNAP is money for food, which you get from the Department of Agriculture, also called 211. Reach out to them and ask for the money. Second, how much money is it? Well, a family of 4 in Hawaii gets now upwards of $16,000 a year. Why so much money? Because of 2 executive orders, one from Biden and one from Trump, which raised everyone's SNAP benefits 15%. That's 1.5 per 1 year. So now, go get it. It's incredible, great news. It's yours to get. And look, we're only 9.5 minutes into this video, and I've got you $16,000 of money for SNAP and $5,000 for rent. We are doing really well. But I have 3 really check moments for you first right now. The first one is what I said a second ago, which is I want you to get this money for rent and utilities and homeowners help because it's a big payout. I don't want you going from check to check to check. I don't want you to go from stimulus check to stimulus check to stimulus check. We don't track checks on this channel. We cash checks. And this was a big payout that they dedicated for you, so I want you to go get it. Second, it's first come, first serve, as I said before. Third, it ain't coming back. This is the last ride at the rodeo for this type of stimulus. So rent stimulus and mortgage stimulus, not coming back on a fourth stimulus. So please go get it right now. All right, let's get to some great news about some money coming automatically, one from one side and one from the other side. I'll get that pen and paper. Let's do it. First, money coming to you from your state. I'll go over how much it is, how you get it, and when you get it. First, how much is it? It's a lot of money. One viewer is getting $5,000. What is it? It's overpayment of unemployment benefits, which you had to return back to your state. Let me go over the details. The federal government has stepped in and said some states had overpaid its residents unemployment benefits to no fault of the residents due to computer malfeasance. So the federal government has now ordered the states to return the money to you. Okay, great news. So how do you get it? Automatically to the bank account you have on file. When? Depends on the state. Every state's a little bit different, so you have to reach out to each respective state. All right, let's go to the other big news, and that money comes from the federal government. Very exciting. First, we're going to go over how much, then how, and then when again. So how much? It's thousands of dollars. One viewer's already gotten $2,000. Where is it coming from? IRS and Treasury. How much money is this? Here's an example. If you had $9,000 of unemployment benefits, you filed a tax return and you paid $5,000 total tax bill to IRS, of which $4,000 was taxes on that unemployment benefits, you're getting back $4,000. The refunds are the taxes you paid on unemployment in the 2020 return. Great news. So next, how are you getting it? In the mailbox. So go look at that mailbox, the one outside. That mailbox has in there a beige or white envelope. Inside is a beige check from IRS or Treasury, and that beige check says refund for you. Incredible, great news. Finally, when? 3 phases. Everyone's going to get paid by the end of May. Phase 1 has already been paid out. Phase 2 starts, and Phase 3 starts the middle of next week. Phase 1 is single filers, non-complicated returns, no dependents, and no other refunds. Phase 2 are single filers with more complex returns, and Phase 3 are joint filers like husband and wife. Wow. So I'm really excited. I think you're really excited. I can sort of feel it, and I can sort of feel the vibe through the computer. But let's get to this really, really exciting news. Letter after letter, statement after statement about multiple stimulus checks in just a few days. And it's just hitting like a snowball. So I'm going to go chronologically in order. I'm not going to go over the most recent one. I'm going to start with what the biggest one this week was. And that was Jalapal. Jalapal, who you saw earlier in this recording, who wrote the fourth stimulus check bill, the multiple stimulus check bill for the House, the 2,000 and then 1,000 pandemic plus 1 year, wrote Leader Schumer and Nancy Pelosi a letter this week, but had it signed by a dozen so House members, the same one who want the multiple stimulus check. And the message was very loud and clear. Call the vote now. What are you waiting for? Call the vote now. Which vote? The reconciliation, the two-step process. Why? Because the bill has been written, and the Republicans haven't moved a penny through this entire negotiations. They stay at $500 billion, which ain't going to cut it. And the president's at $2.3 trillion or some much bigger number. And so Jalapal says, what are we waiting for? Just call the vote. Just do it. So incredible, great news. Then we got to even better news, which came late Friday, with this letter. And this letter is from 7 members of the House to the president this time, saying they're going to put multiple stimulus checks in the fourth stimulus package. Now, why can they say that? Because guess what they do? They're on the House Ways and Means Committee. Wow. So the House Ways and Means Committee is the committee that does substantively the largest portion of these stimulus package bills. They do stimulus checks. They do unemployment benefits. They do these big items. And so they actually wrote the president a letter saying, hi, we're on that committee that does stimulus checks, and, there has to be multiple stimulus checks. So, get ready for them. Remember, legislators legislate. They write the laws, they write the bills, not the president. And then came the third shocking developing detail, which was late Friday. The president came in with a counteroffer Throughout these entire negotiations, every day the Republicans said $500 billion. I mean, every day it's $500 billion. It never changed. I have a graphic somewhere here that has $500 billion, and it's like 5 weeks old, the graphic. I mean, it's not changed a penny. Well, the president has not moved on his number either. So what did he do on Friday? He made it look like he moved on his number by taking out $600 billion, but he didn't take it out. He already had it somewhere else for another bill. So those provisions were already covered in another bill. He's like, oh, well, that's sort of double counting. I don't need it here. I have it over there. Yeah, so that's basically a yeah to you too. And so away we go. Now, what is the president telling his legislators? That he will continue to have bipartisan, well, meetings, they're not bipartisan, meetings with the Republicans for lunch every single day up to Memorial Day weekend, approximately every day, up to Memorial Day weekend, and then that's it. That's time to vote. Time to vote on the reconciliation, the two-step, two-bill process without a Republican involved. And it's absolutely incredible. So every day he's going to have a meeting. Every day is going to be not fruitful. And he says, goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow. Chicken and fresh. I don't know. Maybe it's fish tomorrow. And they'll go to have lunch again, and they'll just repeat the process. Now, finally, even one other big item of great news is that those legislators who usually don't really give you much of an update about what they're doing for legislation gave us an update. Remember how AOC said in 2020, these legislators never give you any sense of what they're writing. They just do it, and they just give it to you and say, vote in favor of it. You know, so it's very rare to get this many legislators for one interview, one news article, and they all basically say the same thing: call the vote now. So it starts with Senator Kristen Gillibrand, and that, of course, is a senator, Democrat in New York. When asked, should they wait around or should they call the vote right now? Should they wait around for the Republicans? Absolutely not, because we may lose our Democrat coalition for human infrastructure. I do not think the White House should relegate recovery of the judgment to the judgment of Mitch McConnell, because McConnell will not function in good faith. So I just think it's a terrible political misstep. Then Ruben Galejo, Democrat out of Arizona, says Republicans are not being even players, so Democrats should move on without them. That's pretty obvious. Call the vote. And then Representative Mark Pocan says, at what point do Republicans seriously come to the table? If Republicans don't come to the table, it doesn't mean Democrats don't serve the meal. I love that. And then finally, we have Senate Majority Whip Dick Durbin, who says, Democrats ought to have a timely negotiation with the Republicans, but be prepared to finish with reconciliation. That's a little bit snarky there. And then we have Representative Ro Khanna, who can't be any more blunt than this. I think we should move forward with the reconciliation bill. There we go. So incredible, exciting, great news. But I have another item that is in the fourth stimulus, potentially, that surfaced on Friday that no one saw coming. I didn't see it coming. And so it's a very fluid situation. So I'll have that big surprise for you coming up after the commercial break. But first, if you need help with rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, or internet, reach out to the volunteers. They're in the description of this video. Open the description of the video up. Then you'll see an emoji of a house. And next to the emoji of the house is a community page link to the webpage, news.lalate.com/community. It has a picture of some cats on it. Reach out to the volunteers. They can help you find rent, utilities, and more. And guess what? I'm back in 60 seconds. Stay tuned. And I'm also in the live chat, so say hi. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Evenings LA. Direct from Santa Monica with exciting great news still about your fourth stimulus check and your fifth stimulus package. Very exciting news. I'm so excited you're here. Thank you for joining me. If you're in the live chat, say hi. Hi, how are you? And if you're not, then say hi in the comments. This is LALATE, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Coming up next after Evenings LALATE is Evenings Crypto. Evenings Crypto coming up in 2 hours from now, so don't miss that show. It is a hit show, and then after that is Late Night Crypto. Our 12-hour show last night trended online. It was a massive bombshell, blockbuster last night. So stay tuned for those two shows coming up. In the meantime, subscribe. I want you part of this family. Subscribe and grow us to 1 million followers. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Fifth stimulus heats up this fall, and fifth stimulus provides a reform to the benefit system. That benefit system needs that reform, and let's go over how they're going to do it. First, they're going to raise your benefit limits. Then they're going to add an asset limit. Then they're going to remove the inflationary benchmark. And then finally, they'll remove the marriage penalty. I said add inflationary benchmark. Then they're going to remove the marriage penalty and remove the income exclusion. All right, let's go over the details and how it works and the breaking news on this. First, how do they do this? First, they're going to raise up your benefits a lifetime. Who's you? You. So if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, or any other benefits, or multiple benefits, they'll raise your benefits up one big time. That's what they represent. Then they're going to tie your benefits to a new benchmark, inflation. Now, what's a benchmark? And why is inflation great? A benchmark is what's used every December to determine whether your benefits go up next year. They either go up or stay flat. They never go down. So benchmark is critical, especially to know that the benchmark gives you a big step up, because a big step up would be lifetime. Here's an example. Let's say your benchmark is 8%. So you would step up 8% the next year and would always be plus 8% for the rest of your life. And if the year after that it's 4%, then you go up another 4%. So then you would be up 12% lifetime. It never goes down. So what do we know? Well, we're trying to find what this inflationary rate will be by December, and everyone has a different opinion. Jeremy Siegel, a week ago yesterday, said he thought the inflationary rate will be 20% in December. Then we had the head of the Federal Reserve out of Georgia would not choose an inflationary rate, doesn't want to get fired, so gave a growth rate and said, well, it's currently 4%, it'll be 10.5% in December. That sounds like 6% inflation. It's not 3%. Then we also had analysts all day long on Thursday and Friday who basically said, it's not going to be 2.5%. It's not going to be 20, but it's made it sound like it's going to be somewhere between 4 to 7% inflation in December. Remember, all you have to worry about is December. You don't have to worry about any other time of the year because that's when they do the analysis. So let's say it is 5%. It's incredible great news because first they're going to raise up your benefits. Then they would raise them up an additional 5% next year based upon that benchmark. And now you would always be plus 5% for the rest of your time on this planet. And the year after that, it's 2%, then you'd be up another 2%. Incredible great news. So let's go over the other items in the fifth stimulus package. First, they have a asset cap. It's going to go away, a 1980s law that says you can't keep money in your bank account more than $3,000 to stay on benefits. It's going to go away. Then they're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work. So now if you want to work, you can go work $1,000, $2,000 a month and go work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty going away. Now you can go get married and not lose benefits. And if you were married and lost benefits, they'll be restored. It's incredible great news. Love will win because the marriage penalty will die. Absolutely incredible details. When does fifth stimulus heat up? It's a two-step, 2-month process starting September, likely out the door around November. And then the step up or the benchmark, you would see that benefits impact in the next January, in your January statements next year. So there you go. There is fifth stimulus. All right, so now let's circle back to fourth stimulus. And let's go over some of the things that I need you to know going into this July. First, I want you to understand that there's a lot of things happening in the month of July. So I want to clarify for you that you will see lots of other bills and lots of other checks talked about for the month of July. They're not for stimulus checks. Okay. So fourth stimulus refers to something that is not a law yet. So how would you, fourth stimulus is not a law yet. But third stimulus is a law. And third stimulus checks are landing in July. And some people are thinking third stimulus checks are fourth stimulus checks. No, they're not. So third stimulus checks for the children land in July. And that's third stimulus, not fourth stimulus, because there's always someone that says, oh, the only people getting checks in July are the children. Yeah, for the third stimulus package, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about fourth stimulus in this video. Next, there's a budget bill in July. And you'll likely see that one and think, oh, it's this one. It's the recon. No, it's not this one. It's a different bill. Then there's a lot of standalone bills. Jalopal has other standalone bills. Ron Wyden has a standalone bill. So everything could get very confusing, especially because Congress is done in July and goes on vacation. So, just understand there's a lot of things percolate at the same time. So let's go to that surprise that really shocked me that I told you is coming under fourth stimulus. Those 7 House members in their letter from the House Ways and Means Committee that also oversees unemployment, wrote to the president and said, I think you should extend federal unemployment as well. What? This is a surprise because no one has stepped forward for unemployment throughout the last few weeks, with the exception of Ron Wyden with his standalone bill. No one has said anything about unemployment, so I presumed that most unemployment is going away. Now, here's the issue, is that there's a very big battle about FPUC because it is voluntary, so states can voluntarily not have FPUC. But can the federal government, when they do force stimulus, somehow make the other federal unemployment stimulus mandatory? PEUC? Maybe. That it extends the number of weeks of unemployment where the federal government picks up the tab? Maybe. Or PUA, where the federal government provides the money for sole practitioners and gig workers who are not covered by normal unemployment? Maybe. So it is far from over, that situation. Finally, what's important to understand is that congressional leaders don't want to be around in July. They just don't want to be around in July. They want to go to their vacation home and sip their martini in the jacuzzi. So if they got fourth stimulus out the door in June, they would like it for their own personal advantage, for their own personal prerogative, more so than the fact that you could get an extra stimulus check if it went out in June. Yeah, I see that. I see what you're thinking. Yeah, I agree as well. If they get this out in June to a vote, then you could get a check in June. You'll get an extra check out of this. And every check counts, of course. So they actually don't want to be around in town in July. So could they get the vote in June? We shall see. We shall see. But now what's very important is that broadcast media across the land has the letter from Friday, has the Jalopal, has the support for Jalopal, the signatures of the other letters supporting Jalopal, and the Senate letters as well. Broadcast media is really piling on the stimulus coverage in the last few days because they see how the Democrats are piling on and saying to the president, well, you don't write the bill, we're going to put it in there if you don't mention it. So there you go. Fourth stimulus is heating up with a monthly stimulus check under the fourth stimulus package. That check would start in the month of July. You would get if you make less than 75 or 150 married couple. You're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, rural benefits. And if you're a household of 4 or less. The incredible great news is that the amount of money is the largest stimulus check amount you've ever seen on this channel, but nothing out of the ordinary. It is needed because it gets you caught up on your bills. Even if you're back to work, you need to get caught up on your bills. So with that, thank you for joining me on Big Evenings LA broadcast. Join me next with Evenings Crypto. That is up about 2 hours from now, an hour and a half. It's a fun show. People are having a lot of laughs because it's fun, interactive, and it's very easy and very informative. And then we go into Late Night Crypto, our 12-hour overnight broadcast, where you can literally chat with anyone from the Purple Power family for 12 hours. People are loving it, also calling it the Purple Power Clubhouse. You call it whatever you want to call it. So enjoy it is all that I care about. And with that, thank you for joining me on Evenings LA. Subscribe. I want you part of this channel. 400,000 now to 500. Let's do it. Like this video. Consider becoming a member. And Purple Hawk or Calcino VIP. The link to a member is in the top of the chat and in the pinned comment. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.